Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 401 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. It's good to be here with you. Thank you so much for listening and sharing. I love that we're always working to be our best selves. That's what this podcast is all about. Nice things are great, don't get me wrong, but they don't matter if your mindset is a wreck. Am I right? All right. So have you guys ever tried to catch a leaf that was falling from a tree? I mean, when it's fall and the leaves are falling, I'm always tempted to try to catch a leaf. But I have learned from trying it many times that it's not as easy as it looks. Just as you think it's right about to land in your hand, the wind picks it up and blows it 20 feet in the other direction. I was watching the leaves fall the other day and it was so peaceful, and the thought came that, I should see if today's the day I could catch one. But I knew better, and I smiled and I just let them fall where they may, knowing that that's exactly how it should be. Sometimes a leaf will fall right at your feet, and sometimes you think it's gonna, and then it doesn't. And when you do catch one, you kind of want to catch another one. But those falling leaves, they're elusive, and nothing that we do is going to change that. So regardless of where or when you're listening to this episode, it applies to every single day of the year. But as I'm doing this, it's a holiday season. And the holiday season can be hard for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. But if you really think about it, there can be things all year that if we let them could take us down. I was talking to a great friend recently, and I said, you just never know what life is going to offer up. She mentioned she really liked how that statement sounded, and I thought I did too. And as I do, anytime things pique my interest, I analyze why that statement felt good to us. And I think it's because it sort of brings perspective and a sense of control to the chaos that can sometimes be our lives. By that, I mean life is unpredictable. We can't control that. And if you're trying, stop. It's useless. It's like trying to catch a leaf. But when we settle into the idea that there are going to be things that happen in life that really suck, and then there will be things that are really, really, really good, when we accept that that is the completely normal flow of life, you get to decide then whether you're going to go with the flow or whether you're going to fight it every step of the way. I'm going to use one of my favorite analogies of trees because, trees are just simply, they're one of my favorite things in the world. But they are constantly having to deal with different aspects of nature. Strong winds, heavy snow and ice, too little water, too much water. I mean, they're designed to be flexible so that they sway. They know how to isolate a damaged limb so it doesn't expand to the rest of the tree. They lean towards the sun if they aren't getting enough. And they depend on the other trees around them as well. Community is really important, even with trees, if you didn't know that. There was a study done recently on trees that were put in a certain condition to see how they grow, and some of the trees had adversity and some of them had no adversity. Well, the trees who had the most adversity actually ended up being the strongest. And, trees themselves, they're not rigid. They're flexible. And they don't rage at God when there's a storm or ask, why me? They don't feel sorry for themselves or play the victim. They just simply get to the business of making themselves stronger. I saw a video recently of a ranger somewhere in the north where they had a bunch of ice and snow, and he was walking down this road, and the ice and snow had literally weighted these trees down so much that they were laying across the street. Now, they weren't giant trees or anything. They were smaller, but he went one by one and shook the ice and snow off of each tree. And as soon as he did that, they just bounced right back up like nothing had happened. I mean, he just shook them and they bounced back. I could have watched it 10 times. It was very satisfying. But they are made so resilient, just like we are. They do it, all of that naturally. We do that too. As humans, we are just as resilient. But we are also the most intelligent beings on the planet. And because of that, we often put up our own obstacles. Our brain allows us so many freedoms, but it can also cause us to hide out in our house, never wanting to come out, all because of our ability to think. To think, that's our problem, right? To dwell and think on the past, to dwell and worry about the future. But look, the past is over, okay? The future is uncertain. The present that's all you've got. That's all you've got. We can literally make ourselves crazy simply by the way we frame in our head what life offers up. So how do we maneuver all of these things that come up without losing our sanity? I mean, that's the magic question, right? Well, for the last 16 years, Eric and I have been part of a pretty tight group that we met through my husband's company. And every year, one of our friends throws a very big Christmas party, and it's loud and it's fun, and we just have the best time. Now, this specific group of friends are reaching retirement age. They're a little older than me and Eric, so 3 of our favorite couple friends that we spent the last 16 years celebrating with will be retiring over the next 2 years. In fact, 2 of the couples have already moved out of Memphis, and they're in Florida where they're going to spend their retirement. So our holidays will look very different then. And I caught myself the other day kind of dwelling on that idea of how sad it's going to be and it's not going to be the same. And I was really kind of starting to feel down about it. I was having thoughts of, well, it won't be any fun. It's not going to be the same at all. But what I realized was I was focusing on all the things that kind of sucked and creating in my head how things were going to be in the future. I was creating that it was going to be hard and sad and no fun anymore. How does that sound going into a holiday season? Sounds like an enticing, fun season, doesn't it? No, of course it doesn't. But when you hear someone say, you are the architect of your own life, well, the present, right now, that's where the wheels hit the pavement. Now, the funny thing about those thoughts that I was having is I was literally at a party surrounded by people I love, and instead of being present and appreciating what I had right in front of me, I was starting to create a feeling of sadness. But, as I often do, I recognize it, and I do what we are all able to do. I stopped focusing on the past, and I stopped worrying about the future, and I just let myself be in the present. And I even made a new friend that night, one that's in my age group. I talked to so many people I hadn't gotten to talk to in a while, and I ended up having the best night. And then at the end of the night, I spent time with 2 of my favorite people late into the night, just laughing and being present, not worrying about where they were going to be in the future. They're here now. And that party, it could have gone a million different ways. And I'm sure it did. Every single person there either enjoyed themselves or didn't, based on how they framed it in their mind. Our brain, just left to do what it may, is so addicted to drama and fear and going down negative thought scenarios that it'll have you miserable and depressed. But you don't have to let it do that. You tell your brain what to do. You're the boss of your brain. Do you know that? I've learned that, and I didn't always know that, but now I do. My present life, my immediate future, and the one a little further on is created right inside of my head. I can't predict what's going to happen, but I can control how I let it affect me. And this is the secret to life, in my opinion. I mean, life is so unpredictable, just like the falling leaves. But your reaction, your ability to be happy, whether you catch the leaf or not, it all depends on your ability to pivot, your ability to bend and not break during the storms, your ability to have an ice storm, but then shake it off and bounce right back. You have the ability to get stronger because of the things you're going through, just like those trees that got stronger because of the storms they survived. You have that ability too. You wouldn't be the person you are today without the storms you've already been through. You are the architect of your own life. You can decide to have the attitude that no matter what life offers up, you're going to be okay. I mean, maybe it knocks you down a little bit, but now you know you have the ability and the strength inside of you to shake it off and bounce back. And this time, you'll bounce back even stronger. And that's all done in your head by what you're thinking. You're creating your life in your head every single day by the way you respond to what life offers you up. My challenge to you today is to realize that your thoughts are literally creating the life you're living. Life is going to offer you up a variety of experiences. What you do with them is everything. Tony Robbins says what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. It's a matter of what you're focusing on. Share this with 3 people who have thoughts. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.